Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you again with another one. Um, Before I get started, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers that have subscribed to my channel here on YouTube and on Rumble also. I'm going to play a couple of clips here about what's going on in LAHAINA with the 5 victims, the survivors, and how they're getting displaced once again. Before I continue, 2 things. I just want to thank all the new subscribers, like I said. Don't forget to comment, like, share, okay? Subscribe to the channel. Also, something I want to show you guys at the end of this video, if you stick with me. This one's going to be a little lengthy, but I'm going to show you 3 news clips, and to show, like I'm always saying, that you know, the powers that be with what's going on in LAHAINA, they just keep contradicting themselves. And it's beyond me why the governor just doesn't do the right thing by the people, and how so many people could be so, how can I say, I don't know, just so insensitive to what's going on in LAHAINA. And by that, I mean, I'm pertaining to a lot of officials and a lot of what's going on with the tourism right now. But without further ado, let's jump into this first clip that's come out in the news. This one has come out, I believe the timeline is about 5 days ago. So let's check this out.
It's been 2 months since the massive wildfires burned the historic town of Lahaina in Hawaii to the ground. The biggest question now for those displaced is where will they live next, as Maui Mayor Richard Bisson estimates it could be up to 2 years before locals can begin to rebuild their homes. One Filipino-American resident worries that the estimated timeline might be too long and will force the displaced to completely move out of the Aloha state, especially with the lack of affordable housing.
Most likely might have to end up moving out of our island just temporarily, just till everything gets back to normal. And it's sad to say, but it's most the realistic way of looking at it. I already know about 20 people that already moved off island just because of this whole situation.
Another displaced Lahaina resident shares the struggle her family is dealing with in finding a temporary home while waiting for the rebuilding of Lahaina town begins.
I need a place to go that's not like somewhere else other than West Maui. I need rental assistance because all the places that are open in this database that the county is sharing is like $3,000 a month for like a 2-bedroom.
Federal Emergency Management Agency officials, however, seek to assure the thousands displaced that they will not be forced out of their temporary shelters.
People are going to be able to have lodging for at least 18 months. The hotel lodging piece is going to last at least 3 to 4 months for people, and we're not going to push people out of it, but we want to encourage people to get into.
Now I want you guys to pay attention to what he just said. He says they're not going to push people out or displace people. Okay, now mind you, this news clip came out 5 days ago. Okay, and I'm not necessarily saying that this man here in particular would have something to do with the next video clips that I'm going to show you, but it's almost as if they're only putting out, the powers that be are telling certain people, you know, put out this information, and then hopefully in a few days, you know, we can change it up, and we'll just keep doing that. Okay, you just heard him say that, you know, it's going to take about 18 months. Okay, that's a long time. That's 2 years from now. Okay, anything can happen in Lahaina in 2 years. And I've been saying it in a lot of my videos. A lot of people have been saying it's been circulating the internet news feeds. I mean, all around the world, people are talking that, you know what? I mean, me personally, I would be surprised if every single person got their property back and they rebuilt Lahaina the way the people wanted. Okay, you heard the gentleman before him saying that already 20 of the people that he knows have moved, you know, have moved off the island because, you know, they're not giving them the proper living space that they need. And in my opinion, I know it's only been 2 months, and that's understandable. Okay, there is a lot that needs to be done when it comes to cleaning the burn zone up. But you'll see in the next news clips what's all entailed about it, and I just I'll be honest, I seriously feel that, you know what, they are going to try to do away with, as if not all, as many people as they can off that part of the island, so they can keep it for themselves. But let's continue.
To lodging that better suits their lifestyle.
According to FEMA, about 7,600 residents remain temporarily housed in more than 40 hotels, while the agency works towards finding them a more permanent housing placement.
Now, mind you, they say 76. Some people may say, well, you know what, 7,600, that's not a lot. You know, the estimated amount of people when this whole thing started, they said there was about 13,000 people living in that area. So right off the bat, that's more than half that are displaced. Okay, so those are the ones they're saying that are displaced. Never mind the ones that have probably sold out in secret. Okay, ones that have moved away, because there is talk of some of them moving, you know, to different areas. And as far as them opening up the burn zone for people to go back and start trying to clean up whatever's left of their property so they can start getting, you know, building equipment in, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Okay, and this is what a lot of people need to understand. And it's not that it's not going to happen because the people don't have the money. That's one of the reasons, but we all know that nobody's really stepping in to give those people the money that they need. Okay, now one of my other videos, during one of the community meetings, you know, one of the residents said there are so many people that work construction. How come they don't have the residents that lived in the area that work construction in on the action to help rebuild Lahaina? Okay, first they shut it down. They started cleaning up. Now they're slow tracking the fact of people going in to check out their property, see what's going on. The governor has been, I mean, very shoddy at best. Okay, when it comes to like really getting engaged in everything that's going on. But it like I said, in my opinion, it just seems like, and I want everybody to pay close attention to what's going to be happening in the next few months to next year, because it just seems like they're going to keep pushing these residents away more and more and more from their property. But let's continue.
We want to stay in Lahaina. This is where our community is, our friends and family are. So we just want to be here. We don't want to live anywhere else. And I know, like, my situation is not unique. I know every other family is in the same situation where if Red Cross were to kick us out, they'd be left on the streets.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has removed toxic chemicals from at least 50% of the 5-mile-wide scar of the wildfire. Officials say the next step before reconstruction is the removal of hazardous debris and unstable structures, which could take up to a year to complete. Lillian Ignow, ABS-CBN News.
Okay, that was the first clip. That was about 5 days ago, 5.5 days ago. They said it's going to take all that time to do all that. Now, if anybody has been paying close attention, everybody has seen the way the jackboots came in and put up that black fence, and I mean, basically cleaned out as much as they could and totally packed up and left. Where on some of the video that I showed, some of the drone footage when they first opened up, that they gave people the right to, you know, fly their drones over. I mean, you'd have to think there must have been hundreds of people during that cleanup to do it so fast the way they did it. But now they're saying that whatever's left is going to take a year. Okay, if they say a year, I've worked the construction business for so many years now, and when you're building from scratch, and they say it's going to take about a year, okay, you can get away with doing that between 8-9 months up into maybe, let's say 13-14 months. If you do it under a year, that's perfect. But that's starting from scratch. Them saying that it's going to take about a year to clean up, okay, how much longer do you think it's going to take for them to build right after that? This whole thing that that man just said before, that it's going to take about 18 months, there is no way, okay, that even if they cleaned up Lahaina in a year, there is no way in 6 months after that that they're going to rebuild it to get these people back into that property. You're talking at least 2 years, okay, of construction to even get maybe half of those people back in Lahaina. But this was the first clip. I'm going to show you the second clip, so I want everybody to stay with me. Like I said, it's a little lengthy, and stay with me to the end. There's something I need to share with everybody, all my subscribers and everybody that's watching this video. But here we go.
2 months since the wildfires on Maui, destroying most of Lahaina and parts of Kula. Maui police did not identify any new victims today. The death toll remains unchanged at 98, and the number of people considered missing or unaccounted for stands at 10, which is...
Okay, so this is the second clip, and already this is where they're at 2 months later. Today's the 9th, yesterday was the 8th. That marks 2 months. And this is the narrative that they're going to stay with when it comes to the death toll. Okay? And it just baffles me the way the police chief is going to stick with this number when he knows very damn well, okay, that this will not be the final number. That it's not. Too many children are still missing. Whether people want to believe that or not, whether people want to keep hearing that or not, whether the news media or the police chief or the governor or the mayor or the powers that be want to try to suppress the truth, the amount of children that are missing has not been answered. The real death toll has not been answered. Okay? On one of my previous videos, the mayor came out and said, and this was on the 8th, the day it happened, August 8th, okay, that the roads to Lahaina in and out were clear. How in the world, and he said this when the fire was probably at its max, okay? And then when they're all questioned about it, they all pointed the finger at each other that they didn't know who was in charge. But this is the number that the police chief, who is also the coroner, this is the number that he's pushing out. And this is the number that he wants to stick with. Meanwhile, the stories haven't disappeared about how many people are missing. Okay, there's still people out there still asking questions, residents of the survivors, family. There is so much going on in Lahaina that there still is censorship. And nobody is catching on to this. Okay? Never mind the fact that the police did a lousy job, that the fire department did a lousy job, that the mayor and the governor did lousy jobs. No. There is so much proof out there that they were suppressing the severity of this fire to the residents themselves during the whole fire. If anybody watches, and go back, don't take my word for it, but I will try to make a video on it because it's a lot of clips. That one thing that I noticed, if you look at a lot of people that were driving in their cars recording as they were trying to escape, pay close attention to what you hear when these people are driving. And this is something that a lot of people have not picked up, and I picked up on it a few days ago. Actually about a week ago, but I needed to find out more footage, and I kept looking and looking. And one thing that I noticed, that a lot of people, I haven't heard anybody talk about it, okay, is that if you listen to everybody who's recording from their vehicles, their radios are playing in their cars. And what you hear on their radios is music and commercials. And these are people that are driving right through the fire. Why is that? Why was there music and commercials playing on radios in cars instead of emergency alerts telling people what was going on in Lahaina, what were the escape routes, what were the emergency protocols? Nobody believes me? Don't look at my videos. Look at everybody else's videos, anybody that was in a car, and you'll see for yourself. So with just that being said, that even the radio stations weren't putting out emergency alerts, this police chief expects people to believe that only 98 people died, and the count of the amount of people that are missing has gone down to only 10. Pay close attention, people. But let's continue.
Down from 12 a week ago. 2 months later, residents are still picking up the pieces. Some still waiting to see what's left of their homes, while others look for long-term housing. But the county is moving forward by beginning its phased reopening of tourism on West Maui. Today's partial reopening was met with mixed reaction from Valley Isle residents. Nikki Schenfeld spent the day on Maui and joins us live from Ka'anapali. Nikki.
Hi, Gina. Yes, I'm told this is the busiest Ka'anapali has been since those deadly fires 2 months ago. You can actually see Leilani's restaurant at Ka'anapali Beach behind me, and it is packed on the top floor and the bottom floor as well. But it's a mix of residents and it's a mix of visitors that are smiling. And the visitors that we spoke to today said they understood the severity of what had happened here in West Maui. But of course, today was also very important to remember those who were lost in those fires 2 months ago.
Okay, do you see the narrative here? It's like they're open business as usual for them to remember the people that were lost 2 months ago. This whole investigation is not over. There is no secret that this was not just a wildfire. This is a major crime scene. And you see the way they're trying to, you see the way the governor opened up 2 months later. Okay? And now they're already pushing the narrative about, you know what? Now it's time for us to remember the people that didn't survive the fire. But here's the thing, that's all fine and good. But the body count still doesn't add up. The missing persons list still doesn't add up. The amount of children missing still doesn't add up. So why are they open for business, number one? And why is everybody so quick to just start, you know what, let's just start remembering the ones that didn't make it? I told everybody that this was gonna, I mean, I've been saying this for the past month and a half, the past 2 months since day one, that the media is gonna play a big part in pushing this narrative and thinning it out to the point that it will be business as usual, everything back to normal, as if, you know what, that was way in the past. It wasn't way in the past. Yesterday, Sunday, okay, was October 8th. 2 months to the day. That's all it's been. People haven't even had time to grieve properly. There is still so much unanswered. I still have yet to see an interview of anybody that was taken to the hospital from all the third-degree burns. I still have yet to see an interview by a firefighter, okay, a police officer, a school bus driver, a school superintendent or teacher. So many questions are still unanswered. And yet right away they want to open up to tourism, knowing that not too long ago, a lot of the residents got together and they voted to the governor. They said they did not want to do this so soon. And they went with the votes. And he didn't give a flying rat's ass. He said, nope, we're going to open up. And which will be the best way to push this story further and further away? By flooding the island with tourists. But let's continue.
October 8th marks 2 months since roughly 100 people perished in the deadly fires.
Every day is important to be here and share. But this mark in particular, you know, we want to honor. It's just happens to also be the day that they are opening up. So we just want to make sure that people really take notice of our great loss.
While Ritz-Carlton and Montage were fairly empty in Kapalua, the smaller hotels in Kahana, Napili, even Ka'anapali were fairly busy with visitors.
We've been here for about 4 days, and the experience has been the best I've ever experienced in my whole life. Everybody here is always welcoming.
He says he didn't see any messaging at the airport or on the airplane, and neither did we. Restaurants like Leilani's on Ka'anapali Beach had a busy lunch.
Okay, now I understand this guy just went on vacation, but very, very poor choice of words. Okay? Me personally, I don't travel, I don't get on planes, I just don't. I've had some bad experiences. But in all honesty, I don't think I can go somewhere that is so close to something that has happened, this devastating, and be sitting on the beach reading a damn book. Okay? I mean, in what world do so many people get together and say, you know what? Regardless of what happened, we're still going to go vacation not too far from where this devastation happened and just have a good time. Because if I was a resident in Lahaina that had to go through this, I know a lot of people are going to get upset and say, well, you know what? They need the money, this, and that. They got their money from the tourism. Yeah, I get all that. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I get all that. It shouldn't be like that. The government should be there, giving them tons and tons of money the way they're doing to Ukraine, the way they're doing everywhere else with all the illegals that are coming in, and they're giving billions of dollars to house illegal immigrants, billions of dollars to fight a war in Ukraine. And yet the people of Maui, like I showed you 5 days ago, well, in the last clip that took place 5 days ago, they're talking about it's going to take at least a year to clean up. The guy from FEMA said 18 months. 18 months to do what? How come there's nobody out there now? But let's continue.
Rush, and one of the staff members said it was the busiest afternoon he's seen so far. Visitors were also seen paying their respects.
I think it's important for them to pay homage and understanding. You know, who knows? They could have been paradise people. They could have been Katrina hurricane survivors. You know, you don't know, but I feel that there's so many people that sadly have tragedy as a common denominator. And, you know, if they want to give back, if they want to give reverence, then amen.
Even part-time residents felt the
Well, first of all, this is the way I see it. Like I said, I understand that they want to put in place something to, you know, to remember the victims, but again, they're not understanding the number of crosses and reefs and lays that they're putting out there does not reflect the actual number of people that are still missing, of children that are still missing. So I'm not saying don't put anything out there for the ones that we know are missing, that we know have perished. What I'm saying is, why even put one if you cannot put for every single one? Because in my eyes, people, this is the way I see it, until they get into every single man, woman, and child is 100% accounted for, you can't even put not one memorial up. It's a disservice to every single one that is still missing, that they're not being accounted for. But let's continue.
Grief as they passed Lahaina for the first time.
Yeah, it was hard. Sorry.
She says she's seen and heard the mixed emotions from Lahaina residents.
I think respective tourism is what's the important thing right now. People just need to understand that there was a huge loss here, and they need to be understanding of everybody grieves in a different way and takes their own time.
Others say they just wanted to be part of the discussion with Governor Green on when to reopen.
Give plenty of frustration, and it's not so much, I think maybe it's not so much pointed at the visitors, but the way we came to this date that was going to be an open day. The governor never consulted the people in the community, and so that's where the frustration comes from. If he was able to be in that meeting and be a part of the talks, then maybe we would have come together and figure out a date that we all could agree on. And we know not all visitors are bad. We just say just respect the families, maybe not really go into the neighborhoods and do your videos and stuff like that. Maybe stay towards the hotels, or maybe go to the outside of the island.
Okay, so there you go. That's one resident who's given his part of what's going on, his story of what's going on. You know, I remember when 9/11 happened in New York, it was nothing like this when it came to like the censorship with the news. It was a different time back then. Okay? And it took a long time before they started letting people go down, and people started taking pictures and videotaping it, and everybody wanted to, I just found it totally disgusting and appalling. Okay, to go down there and just want to take pictures of the devastation. Now, reporting on it is one thing. But just to say, oh, I was there, and just to take pictures, and I understand where this man is coming from. This is why a lot of people from Lahaina didn't want the tourism to come in. Okay? Where are the black fences now to keep the tourist from going down or from being able to take pictures of the fire zone? Where are the jackboots now on the ground telling people you can't go down there, you can't take pictures, you can't, you just can't? Where are they now? Oh, that's right, they're not around because they got rid of the evidence that they needed to. So their job is done. So now the residents are the ones that are going to have to deal with this, with the tourists. Okay? But let's continue.
And we learned that one of the smaller hotels in Kahana did inform its displaced residents that they were going to have to leave within the next 48 hours.
Okay, did you guys hear that? Mind you, this came out about 20 hours ago, a day ago. Where you just heard on the last clip, the guy from FEMA saying that no, we're going to take care of the people. That was 5 days ago. This clip is from a day ago, and I'll just rewind it just a little more so you guys can hear it one more time. Okay?
They were going to have to leave within the next 48 hours, but I am told off camera
there you go.
That the general manager did the best that she could. Ultimately, it was a corporate decision to have.
Did you hear that? The general manager said that she did the best that she could, but it became a corporate decision to kick the people out in 48 hours who have just lost everything. Everything. This was a day ago. Whereas 5 days ago, okay, something different was said. I'm sorry, is what I've been saying. A contradiction. Once again, here's the contradiction. Keep pushing them out. Keep pushing them out.
those guests leave, but we're going to follow up to see where they're going next. And again, this is just phase 1 of the reopening here in West Maui. We'll let you know when phase 2 begins.
Okay, now that was the second clip. That was phase 1 of reopening. And then whoever's left in the hotel that has no place to stay, this is phase 1 of you got 48 hours to get the hell out. Meanwhile, people are already saying they have, you know, the ones that did have housing, they don't know where to go. There's nowhere to go. Okay? So where is the governor building, and where is FEMA building these emergency residents for these people? Oh, nobody thought about that, right? So they shut the place down. Okay, the place burns down. They shut the place down. They clean it up. They push the people out. They open up and say, you can go back little by little. We'll keep you in the hotels. But then the governor says, no, we're going to open up on the 8th. But nobody's going to get displaced. 5 days later, leave it up to the hotel management and make it a corporate decision. Because then that cleans the governor's hands by him saying, well, you know what? I try to help the people and we did find a place, but you know, I'm not in charge of the hotels, and the hotels have their own rules. So if the hotels, you know, made a corporate decision to get rid of everybody, there's really not much I can do. You see how that works? Instead of the governor saying, you know what, no, this is what you're going to do. You know, it's funny how the governor started this emergency proclamation and said that he had the authority to pretty much shut everything down, from the information that was coming in and out, from what people, how they can travel, what they can say, what they can do, who can come in and donate, who can do whatever. But now he doesn't have the power to tell the hotels, no, you can't kick these people out to let the tourists in. Oh, because wait a minute, because he's the one that opened up tourist season. So now you're going to have them displaced again. And by whose hand? This is why a lot of the residents didn't want Lahaina to open up so fast. Because they have yet to do anything to find everyone who's displaced a proper place to live for the next 18 months, 2 to 3 years. Okay? Now I hope everybody's still with me. I'm going to play the third clip. Okay, I'll give my final thoughts, but like I said, stay with me. There's something else I need to share with you. But here we go. Okay, now the first clip I showed you was 5 days ago, almost 6 days ago. The second one was a day ago. This third clip came out about 9-10 hours ago. Okay? Now again, it's a little lengthy, but listen to the information now.
Parts of West Maui have reopened to tourists 2 months after the deadly wildfires ravaged a portion of Hawaii's island of Maui. Several communities located north of the hardest hit region are now welcoming tourists, but some residents have expressed outrage against the state's government's decision to reopen this quickly. Thousands have signed a petition sponsored by a group called LAHAINA Strong due to delay West Maui's reopening to tourists. That's where LAHAINA is, the most devastated area. CBS News national correspondent Jonathan Bigliotti joins us now from Maui. Jonathan, good to see you back there. We have heard for weeks about how vital tourism is to Maui. When I was there, I heard from people who had those mixed feelings. They said, look, this is our livelihood. Unfortunately, other industries have not been strengthened or stimulated enough for us to depend so deeply on tourism. However, there's also frustration that in the middle of the rebuilding, tourists are going to be hanging out around there. So what are people telling you?
Yeah, Lilia, the biggest concern right now on the island is housing, and I know you experienced this when you were here on the island. You know the housing crisis that is unfolding here as a result of the LAHAINA fire. More than 2,000 buildings were destroyed. That's 80% of the community, and the majority of those buildings were homes. So you're talking about thousands of people, many of them families, currently displaced. According to officials, about 6,800 people, again, a lot of them families, are staying in vacated hotel rooms. So where does the concern come in? Well, those hotel rooms now do need to be opened up to make space available for visitors, which means a lot of...
See? So now, once again, the governor doing nothing to think about the people that were in the hotels. And he knows. That is the damn thing about it, that he knows. He knows these numbers. He knows how many people are staying in hotels. He knows what he's doing. It is all part of the plan to try and push more and more of the residents from Lahaina off the island. Go live with family. Go to the mainland. Go to California. Just get out of Lahaina. Go somewhere else. Go to Oahu. Go to one of the other islands. You know, it is so disgusting the way this governor can go bold-faced in front of these people, okay, all these victims, and just bounce them around and keep telling them, I'm doing the best I can, everything's going to work, we're going to do the best we can. You know, the military stepped in on this. They closed up that zone, that fire zone, and they cleaned that place out within a matter of days. Okay? When the military has to set up shop, they could damn near set up a town, a full working town, literally like overnight, in the dark of night. Well, you go to sleep one day, wake up the next day, you look outside, you're like, where in the world did this town just pop up from? It's called, I don't know, certain parts, like the Army Corps of Engineers, you know, the National Guard. Everybody that's trained in the military to set up shop. You mean to tell me that the governor cannot coordinate with the military and the federal government and say, you know what, listen, this is the deal. Okay? My people have nowhere to go. Forget about the tourism. They're going to come. Believe me, Hawaii will never be closed down. It will never be, it would never slow down to the point that people will lose interest and not wanting to come back or, you know, to go back to Hawaii. But yet, nobody wants to pick up the purse and say, let's do this first. It just turned 2 months on the day the governor wants to open up Lahaina, Maui, Hawaii, that whole area back to the tourists. People are still grieving. People have thousands of people. This is not hundreds. You're hearing the numbers for yourselves, people. These are thousands of people. You know, it's funny that the federal government can let in tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants into this country and force them into other states where they have to find, okay, housing for these people. And you can't even do it for less than $10,000 in Hawaii. And it doesn't surprise me. Okay? I mean, everybody knows that there was homeless people there in Hawaii already, you know, in their 10 cities. Now, I don't know the exact numbers of how many, but if they had nowhere to go, where are you going to stick an extra 6,000 to 7,500 people? The answer to that is they don't care. Okay? They don't care. They want them off the island. That is the end game. But let's continue.
Those displaced residents are going to be yet again displaced. And the concern that we're hearing from many people that are staying in these hotel rooms is, where do they go next? But as you point out, a lot of people here also at the same time recognize how vital to the economy tourism is, also vital to the community as well. You have jobs that rely on it, but not only that, with the money that is filtered here into the economy, you have what will hopefully, according to officials and those that live here, will be a bank fund that will help people recover and rebuild quicker. But again, you know, with this double-edged sword, you have people, so many of them displaced, that don't know where they're going to call home for the foreseeable future as they do rebuild and recover here.
Well, here's a thought, okay? I don't know. Turn the golf courses into living spaces. Oprah, I hope you see this video. You have over, what, 1,000 freaking acres? You're worth over, what, $2 billion? Build a city for these people. Oprah, The Rock, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. You people own a lot of property, way more than the size of the fire zone. Way more. But no, they won't do that. The governor won't even ask them. Oh, hell no, can't do that. We'll let the tourists in. We'll keep everything nice and cut and pristine. And then we'll leave it up to the hotel management and, you know, the executive decision to say, well, you know, we did do our part, but, man, we got to make this money, man. You got to go. We don't know where you're going to go. Don't you have family, like, I don't know, in Vermont? Don't you have family in, you know, California, Texas? Do you know anybody in Florida that you can go? It'll almost be the same like Hawaii. But, you know, you might as well stay there for the next 2 or 3 years till we get all the paperwork ready to go. Just to make sure that, you know what, you're not going to get your property back because it won't be suitable for housing. It'll be suitable for other things. Trust me, people. They'll find it to be suitable for a lot of other things, but definitely not for 7,000 displaced residents. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Maybe somebody will dig deep in their pockets and say, you know what, I'll go in there. I'll buy it all. I'll start building. I'll bring in the material. I'll bring in the construction crew. I'll put the people back to work. All the able-bodied men that lost so much. I'll make them part of the community again so like that they can see, you know, that this is theirs. You know, the governor is a joke. The mayor is a joke. The police chief is a joke. The fire chief is a joke. Everybody that is involved is a damn joke. Every politician, okay? Everybody that took place and that is still pushing these people around, you're all a damn joke. You're all a damn joke. Now, I did say I was going to show everybody something, so I'm going to end this right here, but there's something else I need to show everybody. And this is why I keep telling people to please comment, like, share, subscribe, and to follow me on Rumble also, on the True Outlaw Patriot. I don't normally do something like this, but I'm just going to show it just so people can see. I had one of my subscribers tell me about a video that I dropped yesterday, how when she looked it up, it said I had no views, but she clicked on it, and it already had like 20, 21 views or something like that. So she brought it to my attention. And it was a music video reaction. Okay? So I started doing some searching and looking around, and everybody knows that I put my content on Rumble also. Everything you see here, with the exception of 1 or 2 different videos, I put on Rumble. Now Rumble, I love Rumble. It's a lot more freedom. They don't censor, nothing like that. I just don't get as much traffic. But I want everybody to pay attention to this one video I did right here a month ago about Maui. Okay? It says I got 63 views. This is here on YouTube. Okay? This video right here where my green hand is at. I don't know if you guys can read the title and all that. But then I go to my Rumble account. That same video, I've got over 517 raw views and 216 unique views. Okay? 63 views on YouTube. 512 raw views, 216 unique views. Okay, same video. I've been noticing a lot of videos that I'm putting out, I'm getting a lot more views on Rumble for certain videos than on YouTube. But yet I'm getting more subscribers on YouTube. Now, I don't know what that's all about. It's probably just me. Maybe, you know, it's probably just the algorithm, the way both platforms read it. Okay? I'm definitely not trying to get kicked off of YouTube. Everybody knows I've been trying to grow my channel. Everybody knows I'm all about freedom of speech. Because if CNN and MSNBC and the rest of them could put out their stuff on YouTube, so can I. The Constitution says so. Regardless of what any other entity says. My constitutional right supersedes what any other entity has to say. Okay? So with that being said, people, you need to keep passing the word of what's going on in Maui. Okay? You need to keep praying for the people of Maui. You need to try to reach out and try to help in whichever reputable way you think you can. Okay? I've never asked for a penny. I've never said, send me money, I'll send it to them. No, that's not my deal. Okay? If I need anybody to support my channel, I will say it. If that time ever comes, I will ask. But this is for the people of Maui. So try to find a way to help them. If you can. I'm just saying, if you can. If you have family there, you know, maybe you can send extra to them so they can give to another family or whatever the case is. Or since the closest, you know, part of the mainland is California, same thing. If anybody's going to visit for your vacation, I'm not saying give that up, because chances are it's well deserved. But if you planned on saving to stay there 2 weeks, is just a suggestion. Like I said, everybody works hard for their money. You might just want to stay for a week and take the rest of the money for the other week you was going to stay and just give it to, you know, give it to whatever organization there that you can to help out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just spitballing here. I don't know. You know, I'm just saying. But the main thing is to not stop asking questions and to keep passing the information around and make sure that other people know about what's going on. And you cannot forget all the children that are missing, all the people that are still missing, and all the people that are being displaced. Don't let that number that the police chief is giving out, don't let that be the final number. Because the numbers don't make sense. They just don't. And he knows they don't. He knows they don't. But anyway, I'm True Outlaw Patriot. I hope you like what I showed you. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Pass it around. Please go over to Rumble. Subscribe to my channel. You'll find the same content there. If by anything, like I said, I really want my channel to grow. I don't want to get banned from YouTube or any other platform, but I'm not gonna stay shut either. It not for anybody, because number one, these are human beings. Number two, these are Americans. Okay. It could happen to us. It could happen to me. It could happen to anyone. It's happened to them. So with that being said, remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.